NYYST. This is New York. Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York. Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York. Yankee sports talk, homie, New York. Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Well, welcome back. This is episode 418 of the NYYST podcast. We're live on NYY Underground. I'm your host, Christian. As always, joined by my co-host, Chris. There's just way too much energy to open the show after just an abysmal performance by the Yankees in Washington this week. We sat here on Sunday, and we said there's no reason why the Yankees, when we clicked record here live on NYYU, there would be no reason why the Yankees shouldn't have 80 wins, and they only have 78. And they had 77 on Sunday. So it just tells you how this week in Washington went. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into Aaron Boone opened his mouth again. Not anything intelligent came out of his mouth, so we'll discuss that as well.
At least he's consistent.
No, well, I guess that he has that going for him, staying stupid.
Okay.
Also, Pete has a pin to the top of the chat. If you're live with us on NYYU tonight, leave us a voicemail. We'll get to them hopefully in the next 30 to 40 minutes. Let's see how everybody's feeling about the Yankees. If you have a question to ask us, drop it in a voicemail. We'll get to it shortly. Also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to NYY Underground. If you're in the chat, hit the like to this video. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, please make sure you're subscribed to the NYYST podcast and tell everybody you know that NYYST is the official Yankees podcast of Odyssey. Some weeks I like being proud of saying that, and some weeks I don't. And this is a week that I'm not proud to say that because this team sucks again. It's just crazy how in a span of 3 days you can go from feeling really good about them to feeling like they're just going to get in their own way and not make it past the ALDS again. And I don't know what it really means because the Yankees are, I believe, 24-40 against teams that are under 500, but have the best record in baseball against teams that are over 500. So what is this? Just a lack of concentration by this ball club right now? Because look at this. They have not ran and hid from Baltimore, who has pretty much stayed with them lockstep throughout the course of August, when the Yankees were supposed to have this soft schedule. They haven't really taken advantage of it here because they've dropped series to the Angels. They dropped series to the Tigers. They just dropped this series to Washington. And we're supposed to take them seriously, but then when they play a team like Cleveland, they win the series. They look like a team that could maybe possibly do some damage in the postseason.
I've been trying to coin this slogan for this saying for a couple years now, but I can't articulate it properly, especially when I'm tweeting it. So I need your help. My saying is, and my phrase here is, good teams beat other good teams, but the great teams take care of business against the bad ones also. The Yankees are a good team. They beat other good teams. What makes a team great is when you beat the good teams and you fucking demolish the bad ones. And the Yankees cannot do that. They just have a problem doing it. And that's what's separating them.
So what's not separating them from anybody?
That's what's separating. Yeah, really, ultimately. Because I think Lasagna tweeted this today, the parity across the entire league. And this is what's holding them back. Look, I can't speak on other teams. I know everyone seems to have their own stretches and their own struggles, but here's my issue with the Yankees over the last couple years now, specifically. These bad stretches aren't, they go from being bad stretches to becoming this team's identity.
They're not really in a bad stretch right now.
No, they're not.
Just not.
But that's exactly my point. it goes from being a bad stretch to then almost becoming like who they are. Like now they're just the team that beats the Guardians but can't fucking win a series in Washington. I just don't get that. I can't wrap my head around it because, man, this is a long season. There's not a lot of breaks. You have to take advantage of this schedule that you were handed in the month of August, and you didn't. You just didn't.
Oh no, they didn't. Okay, they did not take advantage of this. I mean, you can't expect them to go out there and maybe you can, maybe you should, but even not sweeping the Chicago White Sox is a letdown. That team is 30. What are they? What 31 and 103 right now?
If you want to tell me you can't ask for a sweep, you can only ask for a series win, I'll let you have that argument 99% of the time. The 1% of the time is when they played the White Sox.
The White Sox are 31 and 104, and the Yankees are the 1 and 31. And you could say, well, no. That team has a 230 winning percentage. They will likely go down as the worst team in the history of Major League Baseball. You're a team that thinks you can win the World Series. You shouldn't ever lose to that team. And then you turn around, and now the Tigers are back over 500, but they were under.
They were playing, at least you can make the argument they were coming in hot.
Who's better team?
It doesn't, right. You shouldn't have lost. You can't lose that series.
They lost the series to the Angels. The Angels are 24 games under 500. At home, they lost the series.
Can't argue it.
So are the Yankees, I mean, should we just brush it off and be like, it's no big deal. They beat good teams come October? I mean, what's frustrating right now is that there just doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency in this team that maybe we felt there was in spring training and early on. Always go back to this. We were getting consistent lineups, like a different will to win that we hadn't seen out of this team in a long time. Early on in the season, and then Giancarlo Stanton gets hurt, and it's like the stupidity just got reinserted into this team where there's just no consistency in the lineup every day. We have no reasons for anything of what we're doing here, and then we sit here, and I talked about this. Was it last time we were live, or I forget when I think it was, because I think I made the video on a Tuesday and then we recorded on Thursday, because we were fairly positive on Sunday night because I had just come home from the game, and I mean, what was there to be upset about? We witnessed an amazing performance by Aaron Judge in the offense, at least in that game, but I'm sitting there saying, like, Aaron Boone had a lot to say and none of it made any sense, and all of it was pretty downright stupid. And then we're listening to him talk in this series, and it's just, you're the manager of the New York Yankees? You're the guy that we're supposed to have faith in, that can that can outmanage other managers in the most crucial games? Chris, first of all, this is that nothing to, I mean, it does have something to do with what goes on in the field, but it has nothing to do with what actually transpired in the series in Washington. Scott Efros has been pitching for weeks now in Scranton. Here, my dumb self is thinking, oh, he's just on a rehab. No, he's fine. He's ready to go. Aaron Boone tells us this is what he says. We don't have a spot for him.
Wild.
We have nowhere to put him. Now, I get it. Michael Tonkin had not been good for an extended stretch for the Yankees. But I still think he's more valuable to this bullpen than friggin' Phil Bickford. You DFA Tonkin, who got picked up by a team that you could potentially see in the postseason in the Minnesota Twins for Phil Bickford. And you're telling me you have no spot. You literally did this days ago, and then now you're telling everybody you have no spot for Scott Efros, who was brought here in 2022 to be a key piece to your bullpen, who you traded for, at least at the time. I don't know what the hell's his name? Wesniewski? Hayden Wesniewski, I think, is the guy they traded for him. who at the time was one of your top pitching prospects. You traded Efros for, and we've barely seen Efros because he's basically missed 2 years with shoulder surgery, and I think he also hurt his back in somewhere in there. Or that could have been Trevino. I don't know. All these guys end up getting hurt and missing major chunks of time. You have no spot for him. You brought in the hell's his name? Mark Leiter Jr. Now he's pitching up in mop-up situations. You have no spot for Scott Efros? And I'm not going to bring in Tim Hill and Tim Mays into this because I understand you want to keep a couple lefties in the bullpen. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But you have no spot for Scott Efros? And I tweet this, like, do you I honestly want to know if Aaron Boone is this stupid or he thinks that we're this stupid. I need to know the answer to that question.
So we talked about this team not handling business against bad teams, but they've been beating good teams. I'll tell you what, I'll give them this. It has at least gotten me to a place where, because other good teams haven't separated themselves either, that I'm at least somewhat still confident for October. But here's what else it's done for me. I'm willing to put the last couple months behind us, right? I know the Yankees, believe it or not, since like the end of July, have one of the best records in baseball, if not the best.
They were until I think they did coming into the series. I don't know.
So
if that affected them or not.
I'm willing to put it behind us right now, but you need to start showing me. And one of the arguments is Efros here. You need to start showing me some urgency now. You need to really start showing me that you are serious for October. Fine, I'm willing to put the bad behind. I'm willing to say that this team, because it seems to be across the board, can still do damage in October. But man, there's a lot we're going to talk about in this show that's going to play into what I'm saying now that I need to start seeing from this team, or else I promise you, man, I have absolutely no faith. I have no faith. And I don't think any of us should waste our time taking this team seriously if certain things don't happen and transpire over the next month.
Okay, well, Rich Squires with the super chat. Thanks, Rich.
Okay, thanks, Rich.
Boone is the manager and Cashman until cashless, okay? Retires,
Okay.
This team will never get a chip. You know, I can't argue with anybody that feels that way because of the things that Boone does and the things that Boone says and the things that Cashman does. If Cashman wanted Jason Dominguez on this team, he'd be here.
Yeah.
If Cashman wanted Scott Efros in the bullpen, and there's really legitimately no reason for Scott Efros to still be in Scranton, because and somebody told me this today that they don't, even if he spends X amount more days, which they're probably doing with Dominguez, the Yankees won't get an extra year out of him because of the service time he's already accrued. So there's no reason for it. Like, what are you scared of? You're obviously not scared of Michael Tonkin going to a playoff contender. What are you scared of if you DFA Bickford again? Who you did already once, and he got back in your system, so that should already tell you that nobody wants Phil Bickford.
No, only the Yankees do for some reason.
So tell me what you're scared of. That this guy was a big trade addition 2 years ago. We've yet to see him really do anything because he's been injured. He's ready and pitching well, and you're telling us that there's no room for him. I'm not really expecting a ton out of Scott Efros. I didn't really like the move when it happened, to be honest with you. But
we could use him.
We can definitely use him. And you can't give me the excuse that there's no room for him when there clearly is room for him in this bullpen.
Like I said, there are certain moves and decisions that need to be made for me to start taking this team seriously. I don't know that they're going to happen, but we can certainly start here with the Efros decision. It's definitely on the list.
This team has the best record in the American League. Okay, that's indisputable fact. If you look at the records, the Yankees have the best record in the American League. I'm not saying that because a lot of people on social media will say, well, they have to calm down. They have the best record in the American League. No, I'm pointing that out because can you imagine where the Yankees would be if they played their 26 best guys at all times? If their 26 best guys in their organization were on the major league roster and the best 9 played every night, can you imagine where they'd be if they have the best record in the American League now? When you know
it makes it that much more frustrating.
When you know that they're clearly not, when DJ LeMahieu is still the starting first baseman. And let's get to that now.
Yeah, this is bullet point number 2.
DJ LeMahieu in the 9th inning on Tuesday night takes the at bat against Kyle Finnegan when the Yankees are trying to rally and come back down 4-1. Okay. And we're all saying to ourselves, and again, I am not an Oswaldo Cabrera needs to play every day guy. I'm on the record as saying that. I don't think he's an everyday player. But when you're giving me the choice between Oswaldo Cabrera and DJ LeMahieu, it's not even a debate in my mind or should be in anybody's mind for that matter.
And one swing could tie the game.
And even last night, when he put Cabrera in the game, which I'm going to get to because it's got my friggin' blood boiling right now, okay? It was an out, but he hit a frozen rope to center field.
You did.
And then DJ LeMahieu earlier in the game, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. The Yankees have a chance to get back in this game, double play. Do you know how bad, before we get into what Boone said, do you know how bad DJ LeMahieu is? Like, honestly, think about that for a second. I'll read this super chat. JXV88, the NYYs are smarter than all of us. See you all in 2025. Okay. I mean, that's the tact you want to have. I'm not going to argue with you right now, but.
Hey, look, before you keep going with DJ, here's all you need to know. When the computer nerds who don't even watch, who just sit behind their fucking computer and fix their glasses and type up and read all the stats, when even they say you suck and shouldn't be in the lineup, you're at a different level of sucking. You really are.
DJ LeMahieu going into the game on Wednesday had an OPS plus of 48. I'll just let you sit on that for a minute. 48.
He's 50% worse than the average baseball player.
52% worse. Let's be accurate here.
Sorry.
48 was his OPS plus coming into the game on Wednesday. He went 1 for 3 with a single, not an extra base hit, a single. He is so bad that actually increased his OPS plus to 49. Artificial Dreams with the super chat, Bessie. I don't know who he's shouting out, but okay. Bessie.
Okay. Thank you.
That is how bad DJ LeMahieu is. Now, if you go back to the 9th inning on Tuesday, the Yankees sent up 6 batters, 3 lefty, 3 righty. Wouldn't you know it that these reverse splits that Aaron Boone cited as the reason why he gave 0 consideration to pinch hitting DJ LeMahieu said that you have to bat righties against Kyle Finnegan, right?
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
3 righties, 3 lefties. All 3 left-handed hitters reached base via a hit. All 3 right-handed batters made an out.
Okay, so they didn't exist. The reverse splits weren't there for the next night. Okay.
Now I tweet and and again, if you want to play the numbers and you have actual factual evidence to back this up, at least I could say, okay, I see what you're looking at in certain situations. Not when it's DJ LeMahieu. Reverse splits don't mean anything when it's DJ LeMahieu, okay? I cannot sit there and I don't care that the guy dips. I don't care that he's got a chin,
I love that he fucking chews.
That he's got a cheek full of tobacco. I'm not offended by that, but looking at him and his stupid fucking cheek is pissing me off more and more by the day.
Because it was great when he had the swag and was just a fucking ball player. But now you can't stand the sight of him.
Ra, my running buddy
Rah.
with the super chat. I'll say this again. The Yankees would rather lose and be right as opposed to winning and be proven wrong. Their stubbornness is their downfall. You're not wrong, my friend, that this team is stubborn to a fault here. Because I understand that DJ's got what, 3 years left on the deal.
Three.
You don't want to eat the money because we see what's going on now that the Yankees could have possibly helped their bullpen out in the offseason. They DFA'd Wash Downs and they DFA'd Hicks. That money pushed into that tax bracket they didn't want to get to. You don't want to get rid of them. Fine. Stop playing them. It's really not hard.
So our first bullet point, things that need to happen for us to take this team seriously. First bullet point we can agree is call up Scott Effross, correct?
Yeah, sure.
What's the second bullet point here for DJ? See, you're just not fine. I'll go bare minimum and say stop playing him.
Can you just stop playing him right now?
That's all. So we're not even asking for them to release
I'm not
him.
even asking you to release him because I understand the contractual situation that he's in
I
right
don't
now.
personally, but I
understand why they're not going to do it because of the I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I would be very tempted to if I was the Yankees.
All I'll
But
say is all I need for me to start feeling better is at the bare minimum, not even asking a lot. Stop playing a guy who doesn't exist. Stop playing a guy who, when you play him, he doesn't even exist.
here's okay. Now let's take that in a vacuum, right? And say this. Reverse splits mattered on Tuesday night, but they don't matter yesterday. When you pinch hit for DJ LeMahieu, for Oswaldo Cabrera, right? Now it doesn't matter. And here's what bothers me about Aaron Boone. What changed, pal? What changed? Reverse splits were so important that you would rather lose a game than go against what your gut really should tell you.
Yep.
But now it's all of a sudden now you're going to listen to your gut here. Absolute 100% right move. Not arguing that you should not have pinch hit for Cabrera in that situation, or pinch hit with Cabrera in that situation.
It's just a make it make sense.
Make it make sense now. As I told Pete before we click record here, I almost would have rathered them let LeMahieu hit in that situation. Stick to your guns. Have a little conviction about something.
Yeah, because when you do this, it makes me look at the screen, at the television screen, and go, it's not just in my head. This team is being run so poorly that something they said not even 24 hours ago all of a sudden doesn't exist anymore. So where is the leadership? Where are the Yankees showing me they understand what they're supposed to be doing? Where do I feel, we both have kids, would you just leave your daughter with some babysitter you never met before?
No.
Don't you want some like proof that there's a responsible adult in the building that is going to make sure and prove to you that they understand the right moves and right decisions and how to be responsible and how to run things properly? Would you trust someone who tells you a reason for why they did something a night before and then completely turn their back on that same reason the next night in the same situation?
Here's what I would have
loved. Or
loved
would
to
you
hear.
sit there and just say, this person's clueless?
Here's what I would have rathered Aaron Boone. What I wanted to hear out of Aaron Boone. Yeah, I probably should have pinched a DJ on Tuesday night.
Yep. Done.
I did it tonight, and I probably should have did it on Tuesday as well.
Yep.
Okay. Admit your mistake, pal. I mean, that's all we're asking for. We're not asking for you to be perfect. Just when you do something wrong, say, hey, you know what? Probably should have done that as well. Not like, oh, I just felt like doing it tonight now.
Yep.
Because you were so adamant the night before that reverse splits mattered, and now they don't. Admit you were wrong. Just say, I was wrong. I should have done it last night as well.
Yep.
JX88 with the super chat again. I'd rather fail with Rice, Oswaldo, and Wells than DJ Trevino and Rizzo. Yankees hate developing young players and love sniffing the balls of old veterans. Okay, I think that speaks for itself there. I need to calm myself down for a second here because then before yesterday's game, this is what Aaron Boone has to say. Okay. DJ LeMahieu entered the game yesterday with an OPS plus of 48 in 222 plate appearances. It's about a third of a season, right? Would you say that's a big sample size?
Yeah.
Aaron Boone said he wanted to, quote, really let things really declare themselves before making any decisions.
Declare them on what? Declare themselves of what?
That DJ is really done, basically, is what he's saying.
Okay, so how much more do you need to see?
Exactly. What more do you need to see to show you that this guy is cooked? He is so overcooked right now. You know when you get a steak, you want it medium.
I like medium rare,
nice and pink in the middle, right? Nice and tender, and then you'll get it, and it's more on the medium well to well done side, and you're like, this is overcooked, but it's still edible.
Yes, he's not even edible anymore.
It's not even edible anymore, bro. You throw that fucking steak at the wall, it puts a hole in the wall. It's so overcooked. That's DJ LeMahieu right now. Why? Again, is Aaron Boone this stupid, or does he think that we're this stupid? I need to know the answer to that question. Because you cannot sit there and tell me, as a guy whose father, grandfather, and brother, and you played in the major leagues at the highest of levels, don't know that this guy is washed. And remember how we nicknamed Wash Donaldson Washed because we knew he was cooked?
Yes.
Bro, was not even as close to cooked as DJ LeMahieu is right now.
True. And you know what's crazy to me, and like we could go down a rabbit hole of this for hours, but I saw it in the chat earlier, in the live chat earlier, someone saying like, Boone doesn't make all these decisions.
Oh, yes, he does.
Listen, no shit, he's not in control of everything that we flip out about. We're not stupid, but we've said this in the past, and I'll just move off this real quick. He has taken responsibility for this lineup. And whether that's true or not, he took the responsibility publicly, so I'm going to fucking call him out publicly. But beyond that, it's very difficult for me to make an argument that the front office is telling him to continue to put DJ LeMahieu in this lineup. Because like I told you earlier, even the nerds are saying how bad DJ is. Even the nerds want him gone. So we can't have an argument that the Yankees are run by a bunch of nerds and then also have the argument that the front office is telling Boone to keep playing DJ LeMahieu. That doesn't add up. You can't just make arguments for your own narrative here. So to me, it is Aaron Boone doing this. Now, you want to blame the front office for continuing to say he's the guy to run this team, then we can have an argument. But we can't sit here and say it's Cashman and everyone else telling him to play DJ. That has to be on Boone because it doesn't make sense any other way. This guy statistically, fucking sabermetrics, every stat you want to look at is awful. He should not be anywhere near the lineup. And yet there he is every day hitting in big spots. That's a managerial issue.
All right, so I love Johnny Lasagna. He's her boy here, one of her teammates here on NYYU, and it took me like 45 minutes to find this because the guy tweets so much, but he nailed it. And you got to give Chris Kirshner credit for getting the quote. He was asked why DJ is playing today against the lefties, and this is Aaron Boone. Listen to the I wanted to have a little more balance in there. Obviously, I got Austin back in there. With righties coming this weekend, I'll likely have Rice back in there. I feel like scratching the surface, Gore is a little bit more neutral. How many times did he say I in that sentence?
More than enough.
So if it's not Boone's fault, why did he say I 4 times?
But again, don't you agree with my argument?
What?
That
I heard most. I was trying to find this. I'm sorry.
All right. So my argument, just real quick, is you can't make the argument that Cashman's pulling all the strings, him and his nerds, but then all the nerds even hate DJ. You can't tell me that they're the ones pushing for him to be in this lineup, because in no statistical
No, I heard you
world-
say that, but that's why I was trying to find that as well, because Boone said, I did this. I.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
him. This is on
See?
him. You want to make the arguments of like Efros and who they're going to send down and this and that. Fine, front office. I know Cashman rules all that.
Yeah, but if Aaron Boone had a set of testicles on him in that sense, he could get who up here who he really wanted to.
I mean, is he playing DJ out of spite?
He's got a lot
This is
of-
what you're giving me.
This is the
what
problem.
you're giving me.
You know, maybe he's getting a little bit of pressure from the front office but I felt like when Rice was hot, he was basically benched, and then I know that Rice kind of allowed. I don't want to blame him. I mean, I think we all kind of figured maybe he wasn't the long-term solution there, but he allowed this to happen by going into a slump that the Yankees now, this is what they do. There was the revertigo of leaning on these old bum-ass veterans that they have.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of like plausible arguments that could be had here, or plausible discussions. I mean, is it maybe Cashman behind closed doors saying, whether we like it or not, we're stuck with DJ for 3 years. We need to keep playing this out because something's got to give here.
I don't know, because even they had a Hicks still for 3. Eventually, they got to the point where they were just done there.
Well, I agreed with you earlier.
He lost his job to a friggin' infielder.
Yeah.
Let me read the super chat real quick
Yeah.
from Vinny. It is a conscious decision to play Trev Doogie and DJ over Wells, Dominguez, and Rice. Then they wonder where it went wrong, but it's okay. It's right in front of us.
Yeah. It's been right in front of us for a while. But I agreed with you earlier that I don't need to see DJ released for me to take this team seriously, but I think we're going to have a conversation eventually in this show where I might have to push back on that a little bit. Like, it might contradict with some other things that we might talk about. So I just want to bring that up.
Well, I know what you want to get to, because you asked me, you texted me earlier, where does Anthony Rizzo fit into all this? And
Going to try and keep like a solid head on my shoulders.
John Birdie as well. And I think the obvious answer is Ben Rice is going down to AAA.
I'm fine with that.
And okay, there's 2 spots that are going to open up on Sunday. You're going to get 2 extra roster spots. Now, again, is John Birdie a given to come up to this team? I don't know if he's a given. Can the Yankees just stash him down there until the end of the year? It's possible. Because it kind of diminishes Oswaldo Cabrera's role moving forward if you have John Birdie here. I'm just trying to have a rational conversation with you right now. And I know that they're going to definitely use one of those spots for Ian Hamilton, for sure.
One of the spots for Dominguez.
You would hope so. You would really friggin' hope so that one of these spots is going to Jason Dominguez.
All right, I just won't beat around the bush, man. Here's what I want to say. I don't care how they do it, so long as I'm not sitting here having to talk about Cabrera being sent down and DJ LeMahieu still being on this team.
No, I don't think they would send. I think they would try to finagle Birdie in Scranton all year before they send Cabrera down.
Do you?
Look, if I had to bet on
what world are we living in, though? Are we living in a world where we root for an organization who knows how to do things properly? Or are we living in reality where I can easily see the Yankees sending down Cabrera?
Why? Because they don't really seem to care about trading prospects for players and then them being injured and ready to play, because they'll leave Scott Efros in Scranton until he's old enough to be the manager at the IHOP down there.
So let's not talk about their options of like, let's not just say, oh, they can do this. You tell me, because you've always been the most rational one, as my blood is boiling on this side. You tell me what you see realistically, not what you would do, what you honestly, not what you, because sometimes even we think about what we want them to do, and that can cloud our vision. What do you honestly, this team has been so poor at managing this roster. What's going to happen when Bird, like you keep saying they'll keep Birdie down. I don't see that being realistic at all. I hope I'm wrong. Like if it meant him or Cabrera or whatnot.
What's 2 days going to show the Yankees? What is 2 days going to show the Yankees that they need to that they haven't already seen from DJ LeMahieu?
What do you mean?
Well, they can expand the rosters on Sunday, right?
Yeah, but by how many guys?
2.
So
Okay,
what do you?
so that's what I'm saying. These roster moves are coming in short order.
Yes.
But
So
what is
tell me
going
what
to
the moves
happen?
are going to be.
What is going to happen by Sunday that the Yankees are going to say to themselves, "We have to release DJ LeMahieu," that they've been playing him.
They're not going to release him. I mean, unless this was like his final test. Like this is it. If he doesn't start to really turn it around now, that's it. He's done. But
The
like
only
you
test
said,
they want to see DJ LeMahieu in is a test from Jigsaw. That's the only test they want to see him in.
So tell me, answer the question now. In a few days, what are the Yankees' moves?
Is Rizzo ready? I
Yeah.
don't know if he's. Are you telling me 100% he's ready?
I'm telling
Sunday?
we're just assuming now. I'm talking about at the point in time when Rizzo and Birdie are both healthy and ready. I just want you to get me to a place where you're not telling me that Oswaldo Cabrera is no longer on this team and DJ LeMahieu is still here. Could you see that being a reality? Because I promise you, man, if that's a reality that comes to fruition.
I don't know if I can get there that they'll send down Cabrera. I don't know if I can get there.
If they do, Christian, I'll be done. I'll be done saying I'm done because you know I'm not. But I promise you, man, if you want to talk to me about how excited you are for October, great. I'll be really happy for you. And I think it's healthy sometimes maybe to live in fantasy land when it comes to certain things. Because why stress? It's just baseball, right? I'd rather see my friend happy and optimistic about things. So if you want to live that life, that's fine. But I promise you, if DJ LeMahieu's still on this team and they're sending guys down like Cabrera, who play a much more valuable role on this team.
I'm not going to watch the postseason.
No. I'm not even saying that. I'm just not going to sit
coming.
here and say, oh, this team's going to go all the way. This team has a chance. They don't.
I couldn't sit here and tell you that they can, whether they release DJ LeMahieu or not. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. So,
my point is, when the team has its flaws on the field, and then you're also watching the flaws in the front office, it makes it really hard to be anywhere near optimistic that this team and organization have what it takes to be steered in the right direction and to be successful.
All right, just to pick on something that Scott Wright said in the chat. We appreciate you being here, Scott. Obviously, a big fan. He said, I never understood the can't wait for Birdie narrative. He's always injured in an underwhelming career. Well, he hit 290 last year, and in 2022, he led Major League Baseball in steals. I mean, does that sound like something that might be an improvement over what we've been seeing from this team over the course of the year?
Well, yeah, that's the problem is, am I sitting here like I can't wait? No, I honestly couldn't care less if Birdie comes back or not. I really couldn't. I'm more of obviously you can hear it in my voice. I think Cabrera plays. We talk about those guys, those like dark horse guys, those sleeper picks that every Yankee championship team kind of has that guy.
No, I'm not going to check his OPS plus, Scott, because they're playing a guy with an OPS plus of 49. So what the hell is the difference?
Right. But my point is, Cabrera's maybe not a pile guy in the way we describe it, but the Yankees need a guy like Cabrera.
Look, there's somebody in the chat right now defending playing DJ LeMahieu. Stop. Just, this is not the place for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care.
I don't know what you're
I-
watching that you think that this guy should be playing every day right now. And I'm not saying that maybe Ben Rice isn't the answer, but Jesus, Oswaldo Cabrera can probably learn to play first base right now. Better way, and at least be alive out there.
Yeah.
This is what when I'm saying the Yankees are not playing their 26 best guys. They're not playing, they don't put their best 9 guys in the lineup every day. DJ LeMahieu is not one of your best 9. And I know Chris gets mad when people say you can just play anybody at first. But when it's DJ LeMahieu, you can play anybody at first base. This is what I said. Reverse splits don't matter when it's DJ LeMahieu. Okay. And I wanted DJ to come back, man. I can't sat here. I was happy that they worked something out. It's not working out, man. It is as bad as you'll ever see it be with a player right now. There's no hope for him. He's not going to come back and even be a 230 hitter for the rest of his career. He's got no bat speed. Everything's on the ground. He hits nothing hard. I mean, come on. Aaron Boone, you want things to let them play out a little bit more. Come on, guy.
Look, it's tough to waste my energy and I'm not going to waste my energy trying to convince people how bad DJ LeMahieu is.
And then there's other very prominent people in this sphere here that have come out and said that they don't care. They can't take things seriously or until DJ LeMahieu's out of lineup. Well, you know what? I care. I care a whole hell of a lot about this team. I care a lot about watching them play baseball every night. So I am at a point here where they have to get this guy out of the lineup. Make us care more. Show us that you're serious about winning now. We played this game. We're now at the precipice of September. We played this game for 5 months. It's time to get serious. You're not going to take the game seriously. I take the game seriously. I'm not saying it's life or death. I'm not saying there's not more important things in the world. I take these games seriously. I got to sit here and be annoyed watching them lose to a team that they shouldn't be losing to. So I take this seriously. I'm always going to take this seriously, whether the Yankees do or not. So take it seriously. Get this guy out of the lineup. Yanks fan 84 says DJ's not even good in the show. I can't even imagine what his ratings are in a video game.
Yeah.
Artificial Dream says the Orioles are serious. Yeah, they're so serious. This is what's frustrating you about the Yankees right now. The Orioles are serious, and they're behind the Yankees in the standings.
Well, this is also
an unserious team.
This is also just proves that it's not about the record. It's not about winning or losing. We're simply pointing out things that need to happen from a serious baseball team. Because, I read that comment, the Orioles are serious, and the first thing someone's going to argue back is the Orioles are behind the Yankees, so how serious can they be? No, it's not about that. It's about making the right decisions to continue down a certain path that is going to lead to more and more success. The Orioles have made those moves. They're struggling from a lot of injuries and stuff, but they've made the right moves. They've pointed out flaws and issues, and they've addressed them like a healthy organization would.
Yeah, they're not worried about like Jones said, they're not worried about Jackson Holliday's rookie status. He's one of the best 26. He's on the team.
Yep.
They're not in a 1-year window to win like the Yankees are. They went out and traded for Corbin Burns in the offseason.
Yep. Crazy, man. Crazy what we're watching. It's really it's each year I think I'm done being shocked, and they just shock me more and more.
JC says great show. Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
DJ Seals, I don't know what. I looked back there twice. I don't know what you potentially think you saw. That's not ravishing Rick Rude back there. It's probably a Rocky Balboa and a lot more of
Okay.
Rocky Balboa back there. But if you think he looks like Rick Rude, okay, more power to you.
Okay.
Look, here's the point. Okay, the Yankees have to show us that they're serious now. Okay, because I am never going to sit there and say that I don't take it. Last year. I mean, we were at a point now that at this point, late August here, that we were saying, okay, we can't take these games seriously anymore. They don't have it. They do. This is the point, though. They have a chance to win the World Series this year. So I'm going to take this seriously.
Yeah, of course.
I need you to take this seriously. By Sunday, I need the 28 best guys on the ball club. I need the 28 best guys on the ball club. I need them here.
The Yankees have other prerogatives, and Brian Cashman and everyone in the front office has a list of priorities. And I'm not saying winning isn't on there. I'm not saying winning and winning a World Series isn't on there.
No, it's on there, but
it's on there, but it's not where it's supposed to be.
No, I think that I'm not going to say that it's not number one. It could potentially be number one, but it has to be the way they want to do it.
No, it's not number one, man. Because here's why. The way they want to do it and winning a World Series being number one can't exist in the same world.
In their world, it does, though. That's what I'm telling you.
But so then what you're telling me is it's not incompetence, it's delusion.
Well, how many times have I said now, and I'm going to bring this up the ladder, is Brian Cashman this stupid, or does he think that we're this stupid?
Look, dude, all I know is this. I'm not a genius.
Clearly.
I don't know all the right answers, but I can sure as hell point out some of the wrong ones. And they are right in front of our faces. And we see them every single day. And we sit here as fans, and you want to talk about taking this team seriously. We sit here as fans and continue to watch the same issues over and over. And nothing's done. Instead, we're told by the manager of this team things that we know aren't real. So, yeah, I take this team seriously too. Why do you think I get so frustrated? But how much longer can that exist? How much more of a beating can we take as fans? And I'm not talking about losing. I'm talking about the gaslighting. The moves right in front of our faces that we know aren't the moves that show that your number one priority is to win a World Series. And if it is, then we need new leadership, even more so than I thought, because it just means how delusional you are.
All right, I want to quick hit a few things because I want to get the voicemails. I don't want to be here all night, although we're having a good time with the chat. Even though it's not a happy show, it's a good show. Okay. Austin Wells needs to be the everyday catcher. Stop playing Jose Trevino. He's getting first of all, he's getting abused back there. And I know Carlos Rodon did Austin Wells no favors last night. But he's getting abused back there. He's not hitting. He couldn't get through Garrett Cole through whatever Garrett Cole was going through on Tuesday night, which we'll bring up in a minute here. Enough with Jose Trevino. This is one of those things where it's show me you're serious. Austin Wells has to play every friggin' day.
Okay, add it to the list. Our list is call up Efros. DJ can't be playing anymore. To me, we skipped over this when we were talking about Dominguez getting called up. Dominguez needs to be in this lineup over Verdugo. And then our most recent bullet point is stop fucking playing Trevino over Wells.
Well, here's what the Yankees are this is exactly what the Yankees are looking at, right? Okay. And I'm not defending the Yankees. I think it's stupid. Again, there's that word that they're not playing Austin Wells every day despite these numbers, but this is the disparity. 266 plate appearances versus a righty, only 56 versus a lefty. All 10 home runs, all 14 doubles that he's hit on the year against righties, 266 versus 192 on the batting average, and OPS 820 versus 513. This is exactly what the Yankees are looking for. But does that tell the whole story? I don't think it tells it. I don't even think it comes close to telling the whole story, because when Trevino was out, wasn't Austin Wells playing every day?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if the Yankees really hit the stretch of lefties that they did, that they have in the last, 10, 12 days or whatever it's been, but he wasn't sitting versus lefties.
Well, I said it before we came on air. How many of those at-bats came before Wells was even hitting righties this season?
Exactly.
It was only more recent that he started to get into that stretch. How many of those, 56 at-bats?
Plate appearances.
How many of those 56 plate appearances came at a time in the beginning of the year when he wasn't hitting any pitching?
But then this is what the Yankees are going to go to. They start him against a lefty, and he strikes out 2 times against a lefty, and the righty comes in, and then he hits. He's hitting the ball hard again. Let the guy play every day. Enough, okay? Enough. Jose Trevino, Platinum Glover, great. You know what? Put it up on his friggin' mantle, and he could tell his grandkids about it one day. Enough with Jose Trevino. The guy's a backup catcher. When you acquired him, he was a backup catcher. When you started playing him every day, he fatigued because he's a backup catcher, and he's proven to be a backup catcher. Enough with Jose Trevino.
Again, whether Trevino's good or sucks, it has nothing to do with Trevino. It has everything to do with Wells. Please. We have Rich 2 super chats.
Yeah, Rich Squires.
You missed Old Sarge, too.
I'll get to that. Rich Squires first. What pisses me off is Cashman and Boone keep moving the goal line. First, there are plenty of games left. Next, wait till the deadline. Then wait until we talked about, this is what they do. This is what we talked about with Volpe two episodes ago, is that, now we're supposed to be okay with a guy that's barely above. He's not now, but that's apparently his ceiling now, is that we're just supposed to be cool with him being a guy that's close to above league average. And did I miss I got Old Sarge here. Dominguez will not be called up. Bryson Cabrera will go to AAA. They will force DJ Trevino, Rizzo, Grisham, Verdugo, and go out. Listen, I don't know if I'll say this about Rizzo. He's got to come back.
Yeah, because what are you getting over there? Just give me Rizzo. Stop with the bet. I liked Ben Rice for a little bit, right? It was cool. He came up. He's clearly not ready to be here. Give me Rizzo's name in this lineup at the very least.
You got to play Rizzo. He's healthy. He's got to come back and play. I mean, what are your options there?
Yeah, it has to be Rizzo. Sorry, and I'm not someone who wants him on this team anymore, but it's got to be Rizzo. You showed me no one else who's anywhere near the potential of Rizzo, even now at this point.
I want to read again, to go back to DJ LeMahieu real quick, right? We were mad that Rizzo had a 630 OPS, right? And we're like, dude, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Got to get him out of here. Breaks his arm. We're begging for him to come back. Do you want to know why? 630 is 105 points higher than DJ LeMahieu.
I'm shocked DJ's is even that high.
How you call it? Dominguez. Yeah, I mean, I am honestly scared that they're not going to do it. I'm honestly scared that they're not going to do it.
It's just going to be another tick in me just going, why sit here and take it so seriously when they're not? Why?
I don't know if I would go as far as DFAing Trevino. I think he does serve a purpose as the backup catcher on this team.
Of course.
And you don't want
backup catcher.
And you really don't want 2 lefty catchers, because Rich said to make Rice the backup. You really don't want 2 lefty catchers. You would like to at least have a right-handed backup catcher. I think right-handed backup catchers are kind of the norm, like your John Flaherty types, Chris Stewart's.
Yeah. But here's the thing also. Trevino in his role, remember when we used to say CC Sabathia in his role towards the end of his career
Or Brett Gardner.
in their what their role should be were great, valuable pieces to this team. But then all of a sudden, CeCe would become like the guy they leaned on to be the ace again, even though he was 3-4 years outside of his prime and coming to the end of his career.
Yeah, because
The same thing with Trevino right now. He's a great backup catcher. Teams would love to have this guy as a backup catcher, but then make him a backup catcher. Then he's very valuable.
We'll speak more on Dominguez in a couple of minutes because I do know we have a voicemail concerning Jason Dominguez. So we'll get to that in a second here. The other, just real quick here, because we're already about an hour and I want to get to these voicemails. I'm starting to get a little concerned about Garrett Cole now. This was a major regression in his last start here. 3 earned over 5. He just looked frustrated out there. What was he arguing about again? I don't even remember. It seemed like something was bothering him again.
I didn't get to really watch
the pitch com was with Rodon.
Yeah.
I forget now. Somebody in the chat can remind me.
Cole have another violation?
No, I don't think he had. I don't think he had another one. But there was something that was bothering him. That is he was annoyed with the umpire, I think, for something. I don't remember now. I remember having a conversation about it with somebody that I ran into yesterday, but I don't remember exactly what it was now. Look, is Garrett Cole pitching poorly? No, I won't say Garrett Cole is pitching poorly. He's not pitching like the ace of his staff. He's not pitching like the 2023 Cy Young Award winner. He's not pitching like the best pitcher in baseball like that we know that he is. And that's a problem because the Yankees need that guy. They need that anchor. They need that horse if they're going to win the World Series. So, and again, look, man, you guys can love Ryan Rucco all you want. He sucks. I'm sorry to say it. He's terrible.
Where did this come from?
Because him and his goddamn excuses for the Yankees when they're pitching poorly. Like, they're sitting there glazing Carlos Rodon last night because he settled down. How many times is this guy going to fucking vomit all over himself in the first 2 innings of the game, put the Yankees in a 4 or 5 run hole, settle down, and then we're supposed to kiss his ass that he didn't give up 9 runs in the next 3 innings? Enough. And then they're saying, Garrett Cole struggled because he never faced these hitters before. What? How about these hitters should be struggling because they never faced Garrett Cole before?
Here's my thing with Garrett Cole. I mean, you watch this guy closer than anyone, so you'd be able to attest to this. To me, it almost feels like Garrett Cole, we all know Garrett Cole has a lot of pride. It goes beyond just winning. Garrett Cole's a guy who wants to prove to you, prove to the league, prove to his opponents that he's the fucking man. And I feel like, given the start of this season where he was hurt, came back up, was a little slow to get off, get into a rhythm. Then he's kind of hurt again, fatigued, whatever you want to call it. I feel like Garrett Cole has this pressure that he's putting on his own back, on his own shoulders, to prove that he's still the caliber of guy he was last year. And
he should.
Of course, but what I'm getting at is I'd almost wish Garrett Cole would just let it go for the rest of the regular season. Just go out there and pitch and just really just focus on getting things right for you. Stop trying to prove things.
Somebody in the chat, the opt-out is irrelevant. He's not going anywhere. I still, even with the elbow injury, I would expect him to do it because it's going to be a free $36 million. The Yankees are not letting him go anywhere. And if they are, then that's where I might be done.
Yeah. Then maybe I'd root for it because I want you to get there.
No,
I want you to be like done.
Like done.
Like done.
Done.
Like I just really, you might not agree with me. I just really wish that whatever he's battling, in a sense of, it's almost like he's battling to be something he's not ready to be yet. Where, like, instead of just truly focusing on, okay, here's what I'm still doing wrong. I didn't have a spring training. I only had a few rehab starts.
He's clearly fighting himself.
He's fighting himself is what I'm getting at. Whereas last year you didn't see that because he just coasted.
Because he was it was healthy and it was easy for him last year.
I guess at the end of the day, all I'm saying is get out of your own way. If that means using the rest of this regular season to really lock in and just really focus, don't stop worrying about what your ERA is at right now. Stop worrying about proving to everybody that it'll come.
Stop throwing the cutter too, please. Can you do that for me?
Yeah. It's like you don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. You're fucking Garrett Cole. Go out there, get right, get ready for October. Stop getting in your own way because it's happening again, and it's a big problem for him.
This injury really did. If he had went through spring training, let's say he got hurt in the middle of April, missed 3 months, came back, I think he's a different guy than he is right now.
Of 100%. But that's part of what I'm saying is that I feel like he's rushing through
He's
all
trying
this.
to skip through the finish line, and he can't do
It's
it.
Exactly right. And then that's what I want to stop having, because you're seeing him regress too much. I don't want to see a start like that from Garrett Cole. Not against this team when this team needs a big win.
And somebody came at me on social media and like, oh, why are you ripping Cole? I'm sorry. Nobody's a bigger Garrett Cole fan than me. 3 runs over 5 innings is not acceptable. That's not what you want out of Garrett Cole. That's not what Garrett Cole wants out of himself. There's 3 guys and that the Yankees need to be 100% of themselves if they're going to win this year. That's Garrett Cole, Juan Soto, and Aaron Judge.
Yep.
And Juan Soto was hitting 230 in August, and it kind of got masked because all his hits leave the ballpark. He was on that stretch. He hit 9 home runs in 13 games. You didn't really realize that he was in a slump until he took an offer in Washington here. Now it's really noticeable. But, Judge doesn't hit a home run in Washington. They don't get picked up. There's enough guys in this. That's why Dominguez is so important. Start weeding out the garbage out of this lineup. If you're telling me now that we're looking at the worst player in our lineup is Anthony Rizzo, that's a pretty good lineup here. And I don't want to hear that Alex Verdugo, we talked about the possible concussion, whatever. They're blaming the ink and the tattoos and the allergy to batting gloves, and apparently since he changes batting gloves, he's hitting. I do not care at all. Jason Dominguez has to be the left fielder in October. It's just that simple.
Better happen soon, man.
So I don't know, man. It was Nestor has been their best pitcher recently, and I mean he had another really good start against the Nats. Garrett Cole is still the Yankees' best pitcher. He's still their best hope to go out there and just completely dominate a lineup. And the Yankees, for their own mental sanity going into October, they need that guy.
Look, dude.
It's only going to take one. Garrett Cole just needs one start where he's Garrett Cole, and I think it'll click for him. He's fighting himself right now, and that's what's so frustrating because that is what annoyed me so much about him in 2022 is that he was fighting himself on the mound day in and day out, and that's why we didn't get the typical ace like Garrett Cole season out of him, and he's doing it again.
I don't know. What do you have on your list other than
we got to get to the voicemails?
All right, I just want to say 2 quick things before we get to voicemail because credit needs to be given where it's due, and especially when we take a lot of time to rip these players, I think we should take at least a minute to say, first of all, Gleyber Torres is your leadoff hitter. He has been absolutely everything you were waiting for in the one spot. I hope he keeps it up. He's been playing much better baseball, much better plate appearances. I think he's found his role right now, and the Yankees need to keep letting it ride out, and hopefully he keeps doing well. It's all you can ask for out of him. And the other thing I'll say real quick, Nestor Cortez, I tweeted after a few starts ago, I'm done with him. I'm over him. Not only has he been their best pitcher, he's been dominant. It's almost like he's locked in again like he was a couple years ago. This guy has been absolutely brilliant his last couple starts. And he's carrying this rotation right now, for sure.
All right. Well, I just got somebody said delusion sets in when people think Dominguez will be the savior. I'm not saying he's saving this team.
No, we
You don't
need the
think
best options, though.
you don't think that he's a better option? Brings a little bit, makes this lineup more dynamic. Did you see? Will anybody honestly sit there and argue that the Washington Nationals are a better baseball team than the Yankees?
Who said that?
No, I'm saying, will anybody actually sit there and argue that?
Maybe if they're on the same level of delusion as Cashman and Boone.
But what was the one thing you took out of that series about how much more athletic they are than the Yankees?
Well, we've seen how far athleticism can go in winning baseball games, which is why I love guys like Cabrera on this team. He gives this team more athleticism.
That's why you need to see more. And the Yankees have two guys in their lineup right now, and they need to utilize that to every chance they get in Jazz and Volpe, and they really need to add another guy like Dominguez into there.
How about when Volpe, he steals second and then stole third? Maybe it was just he stole third and then it's a sac fly, and it's like, I think it made the game like 4-0 at the time. And I was like, the team needs to go back to this because they were doing it in the beginning of the year. Like, using guys like Volpe to manufacture runs like that is so important. So important.
All right, so let's get to these voicemails here. Let's see what everybody has to say here. So let's cue those up, Pete, if you could, please.
I'ma tell you what, brother. Your boy Percy, he got a new enemy. All right, I'm taking time out of my vacation down here in the Punta Cana in the Dominican, drinking some margaritas. And I got to tell you something. Listen, the NYYST fellas, this is why I never called here before, but I'm calling here now to tell you this. I'm pretty sure you hammered in the head about DJ LeMahieu. I swear to God, if I see this goddamn DJ LeMahieu one more again, I'm going to fly over there myself, cut my vacation in half, and let my bobcat loose up in that fucking clubhouse. Tell you that much. Enjoy the show, fellas.
Is that Dusty Rhodes?
I don't know. That
the
was
American
great,
Dream. The American Dream.
I love that. That voicemail fucking pumped me up.
Okay, next. All right.
Oh, hey, guys. It's me, Brett Gardner. Had a full name, y'all probably forgot about me. I've seen a lot of reports on the news about maybe my mental health. I'm sorry, guys. I'm driving the Brett Jet, which is now a Buick Encore. That's where we're at now, guys. I'm driving a Buick Encore GX. So I just wanted to call in, kind of give a mental health check, and I'm not doing too good, guys. I'm really not. So give me a call back. Let me get this. I'd love to talk about anything. Really, just hey, guys.
Honestly, man, that's sad to hear that driving a Buick these days.
Well, he doesn't have any more appearances on the Gardy report. We haven't had him on in a while.
Well, he's gone off the grid. The Yankees can't even find him and bring him back for old timers there.
True.
So, what do we got next here?
Hi, it's Sophia. Why do they keep playing Verdugo instead of playing the Martian?
Oh, thank you, Sophia. You're number one NYYST fan. Thank you for calling in. Your father said that he's not a PG parent, so I won't put this in PG terms because they're fucking stupid.
Yeah, you're smarter than them, Sophia. Thank you for calling in.
You are smarter than they are. Why do the Yankees keep? Yeah, that's basically the reason. Thank you for the call. Do we have any more, or is that it?
Hey, fellas, Uncle Don here. I talked to Pete and Johnny last night. I was breaking furniture, came close to busting up my jukebox with my baseball bat, but the jukebox is saved. Me? I don't know if I'm saved. I'm scared, though. And that's what's going on, Mr. Boone. So I got a little song, a little Burton Cummings here. That I'm scared, Lord, I'm scared, I'm terrified. Never been much on religion, but I sure enough would like to hear the call. I'm scared, Lordy Lord, I'm shaking, I'm petrified. Never been much on religion, but I sure enough just fell down on my knees. That's what I am. Because I don't know if this guy is ever, despite him, is ever going to get us to the promised land. He's got us. He's got me quivering. He's got me quivering. Night, guys.
Thank you so much for that wonderful song. If you think the Yankees are never going to the promised land with Aaron Boone, you'd be wrong, because to Aaron Boone, the promised land is taking them to crumble cookies and getting chocolate milk.
And then making it to the crapshoot in October. And then you just see what happens, guys. It's my favorite argument.
All right, I think that's it for the voicemails.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody that called in today, especially Sophia, the star of the show. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Sophia.
Yeah, so now the Yankees are getting ready to come home and play the St. Louis Cardinals, who are also a bad baseball team.
Please tell me they're above 500. Please.
No,
please.
they're 500 even
oh,
now.
Oh, okay. Maybe that'll work. Maybe we can win a couple.
They're throwing a good right-handed pitcher against the Yankees tomorrow night in Eric Fetty here. So the Yankees
But he's
will
not a lefty.
No, so the Yankees will probably win this game.
Nice.
So if anybody's going to be out at Yankee Stadium tomorrow, I'm going to be there. So let's hang out, say hello, take a picture. Actually, don't bother me. I don't like anybody. I'm very antisocial, especially when it comes to you. No, I'm kidding. I'll be out there at Yankee Stadium tomorrow night. So, come say hello if you see me around. Definitely will be more pleasant than I am when I hang out with Chris. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so the series starts tomorrow night. God damn, I've had this friggin' this is what the Yankees do to me. I've had a twitch in my eye since we started recording.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not. It's actually very annoying. But okay. I was reading the pitching matchup. So it's Eric Fetty against Marcus. I was at the game on Sunday and Stroman pitched, and now I'm back on Friday and Stroman pitched. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but okay. And then at least I don't have to see Will Warren pitch. He'll be taking the ball on Saturday against Kyle Gibson. So the Yankees flip-flopped that because last year against Colorado, Warren pitched in front of Stroman, and now Stroman's pitching in front of Warren. So why not? Whatever. Okay. So it's where are we here? I can't even see, to be honest with you.
Dude, just
7:05 Friday, 1:05 on Saturday, and then August is over, my friends, and then it's TBD against Miles Mikolas. Okay, so they're throwing 3 righties against the Yankees this series, 1:35 on Sunday. So I mean, can we see Austin Wells twice in this series? Is that not allowed? They're all righties.
I don't know. We'll see.
So the Yankees, do they have an off day? No, they don't have an off day on Monday. But I mean, look at this, dude. You want to say, honestly, with the way Austin Wells has been sitting here, even with the day off today, even with day game after night game on Saturday, why can't he start all 3 games against St. Louis?
Oh, he better be. He better be.
Why can't he?
If you're going to sit him so much against lefties, then I need him. I don't care if it's day after night. He better be in there against every single righty.
No, I would agree. I mean, they just had an off day. I don't see why they can't get him.
Talking about a young kid here.
And then they go to Texas after that. Why can't we get with an off day on Thursday? Why can't we get 5 out of 6 days with him right here?
Shouldn't even have to ask for it. It should just happen.
So I mean, we're gonna be back, and make sure that you are subscribed to the NYYST podcast. I'm doing this now because we do have audio. We have had audio only shows throughout the entire course of the season. We don't want you to miss anything. We'll be back Sunday night. It'll drop sometime on Monday.
We got 2 shows a week right now, and come October, 3 a week.
But the reason why I don't want anybody to miss this is that Sunday's show could potentially be explosive. And it could have nothing to do with the Yankees could sweep the St. Louis Cardinals and win the 3 games a combined 40-3. Sunday, the rosters expand. It's going to be, I'm telling you, I'm scared. I am legitimately scared that Jason Dominguez will still be in Scranton come Monday morning.
Yeah,
Or Sunday. I mean, I don't trust them right now at this point, but
explosive might not be even adequate.
So if you, don't miss any shows from NYYST. We're here live once a week on NYYU, and we're also have audio only shows. So subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you tell everybody that NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. If you've been in the chat all night, we want to thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't done so already, like this video, hit the sub. Thank you very much for your continued support of NYY Underground and NYYST. We want to thank everybody for listening to episode and watching episode 418. Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.
Top 10 radar, yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion. Yeah, we on your radar. Yeah.
Hey, look, top floor lifestyle, chef and boy, I'm cooking up.